Time for checking in with Quincy City Council President, Councilor at Large, Noel DeBona, because we haven't had any of our morning walks in a couple of months. So, how are you, Noel?
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Doing great. How's your summer been going?
It's been going pretty good, and it's been a hot summer, and it rained just a little bit a couple days ago, and then it's back to good weather. It's pretty hot again this morning.
Yeah, you got to get your morning walks in early because it gets too hot later in the day.
You sure do. Try to get the steps in.
So you had to come back out of vacation mode for a special meeting last night. What's going on?
Yes, a lot of legislation up at the State House, whether it be in the Senate or the House, so they had to vote on some things for voting, and the preliminary elections coming up here on September 6th. And then we also have the final on November. I believe it's the 8th, and both have to have designations for early voting. So we have to go in for a vote, obviously, last night and vote on allowing the early voting and North Quincy High School for the early voting. And then also allowing the polling places, the designations, because there was one more in Ward 5. It's called 51A. We also had to allow that to come in, and we designated that. And those are for basically the voting polls to happen. And then we had to also allow the chief of police to at least and designate one police officer at each polling place. So we had to vote on all. That's part of the Voters Act that just came in. So there was some new legislation that came in after we had our last meeting in June, and we kind of had to get this in before our September 6th preliminary election. So the election's coming up in Tuesday of next week, the following week, and we kind of had to vote on these to get everything in order because it starts up very soon.
Right, because the council wouldn't be back in session until
we wouldn't be
after
back
the
in
election,
session.
right?
No, our first meeting, we were designated to meet on September 6th, which is the preliminary election, but you just don't know if that's going to happen. And then it happened, so we had to move our meeting from Tuesday to that Monday. So it's now Monday the 12th. So it would have been after the fact. Plus, early voting starts this Saturday. So we had to get moving on this. Yesterday was Wednesday, so today is Thursday. So.
Did you have any trouble getting a quorum during the summertime?
It's funny. We're just talking about this, about Zoom, how important it is. We actually had 7 members on last night, and one of them, our Ward 6 councilor, Bill Harris, was in Ireland, and he was able to come on Zoom. So I think he was at a wedding, I believe. So he came on Zoom last night and was a participant of the meeting, which was fantastic, from Ireland. So he's out of the country.
Out of the country, and about 6 hours later than the rest of us, right?
He's like, oh yeah, it's 11:30 at night, so I don't know what time it's your time, So it was kind of funny. So it was great.
Council's gone international.
The reception and stuff for him was great. It didn't sound like he was like far or anything. So technology, what it can do today, huh, Joe?
It really is amazing, and we can talk to you in a parking lot before you go to work in the morning.
You bet.
What's on the agenda for the fall, Noel?
It looks like there'll be some agenda items coming in. I don't really know. I usually have a meeting the Wednesday before a meeting with the mayor and the administration. And we sit down and we just go through what we think we're going to put on the agenda. And then we make an agreement. As the president, I make an agreement what we're going to put on the agenda for that week. And we have some modifications, obviously. Everything's got to be out. I believe it's 48 hours before the session or before the meeting. So there'll be some modifications on, as Thursday approaches. And then we'll figure out if we don't want to, if there's certain subjects or certain, orders or resolutions or even, legislation over, anything, ordinance changes that we may push it out to the next meeting. So it's really good about coming back into session is we'll have back-to-back meetings, September 12th and September 19th. So we'll have 2 Mondays back-to-back.
Very good. Any community issues that you wanted to focus on? I know you spoke at several local meetings over the summertime.
Yes, the Imperial Terrace, the 105 C Street was on the docket. I attended the ZBA meeting. Really comes down to the fact that you have to speak for the residents, and the residents of Marymount, and a lot of them from Howes Neck as well, because it's right there, spoke against this. It wasn't a person in the room that was for it. It was over 100 people in there. And at the end of the day, you just got to speak for the residents, and the residents just didn't want it. Marymount, I live in the community. It's a cut through neighborhood anyway. So unfortunately, adding to more of cars, because that's a really bad intersection there at the Imperial Terrace. And they're designated to only come out and take a right turn from there. So they can't take a left turn during Monday through Friday. And if you don't make it into the middle lane in time, you must go straight. So when you go straight onto C Street after you don't make the Quincy Shore Drive exit, you're forced to do some type of U-turn somewhere. And now you're going into parallels into people's neighborhoods, which is a safety problem. And we have a lot of children in that area, and it's very narrow. The C Street's a tough street. It's narrow. It's tough to even get our bike lanes in there, and it's dangerous to begin with. So now you're going to add to the congestion. And the main issue is the morning commutes and the evening commutes, especially when September rolls around with the kids going back to school and the buses out there and the COVID people going back to work now instead of doing remotes and doing this. So you have to consider that. Also, the precedence was the Grumpy Whites location, which was taken over, and what they're going to do with that. And they didn't want to make a precedent. They went from 32 units to 24 units, 21, 20, and then they went to 18. They withdrew it. But at the end of the day, they said, listen, something's going to be put in there. So they're going to probably make modifications and come back. Hopefully it's lower. They're designated for 6 or 7 units without any variances. So there's a lot more projects around the city. That particular one at ZBA was over 100 people, and over 25 to 30 people spoke. It was a big crowd in there Tuesday night.
Yeah, I know there, a lot has been said about enforcing the city's existing zoning laws, or maybe making some changes to help, do more smart development occur. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's all about smart development. It's a case-by-case situation. There's some areas that I don't like blight properties. I'm very against blight properties. So when a developer wants to come in and do some type of construction in a blight property, it's going to bring up the value around it. Some people will think, no, leave it like that. You can't leave a blight property sitting out there looking decrepit and looking terrible, because eventually somebody may come in. We don't want an office building or another restaurant to come back there, because it's going to be even more congestion. And remember, people forget this. A lot of people are coming out there drunk at night. So out of those restaurants. So don't, you have to kind of be reasonable, I guess is the word you can call. Reasonable construction, smart development. I don't like blight properties, never liked them. People don't like them. They lose value in the area. So it's a case-by-case study. I was against the 105 C Street on this particular one at 18 units was not fair for the residents. It's just a little too dense. And I don't like that intersection. It's very dangerous. So public safety and traffic concerns was main issue for that.
In the fall, will the committee assignments all remain the same?
Say that again?
Will all the committee assignments remain the same for the upcoming session? It will remain
the same. Yes, it will remain the same.
Okay. Anything else we should touch on right now?
No, I just hope you enjoy the rest of your summer, Joe. You guys are doing a great job at QATV. I know you're going to be looking forward to a lot of the September events coming in, and the sporting events that will be starting up at the high schools and even the middle school levels. So thank you for all you guys do over there. You guys do a great job. You've really done a lot with the, instantaneously live stream, which is fantastic. So thank you for everybody over there. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Noel. We appreciate that. And you keep up the good work, getting your steps in every morning.
See where we're at. We're at 2181. So we're 2,180 steps so far. It's pretty good this morning.
I feel more fit just watching you.
Take care, Joe. Have a great day.
Thank you, Noel. You too. Bye-bye.